You could be here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Houston. This is Oscar Hines. Welcome to the Morning Edge here on the Edge Radio Network. Sitting next to me is the beautiful and talented, the illustrious Miss Tressa. How are you doing?
I am good.
I am grooving
jazzed.
to this look you got going on, girl. Look
Like
at
the
that,
fluffy-
bam! Oh my
The
God!
fluffy look, you know, do a little something.
Hey, look, I can tell you, every time my ex-wife wanted something, she would curl her hair and do that, and she'd mess me up every time. I mean, you know, it's the feminine wiles. It's some instinct that you all have that you just know how to just get right up under.
Yeah, like when I
yeah.
want something, I change my wig. You know what I mean? I'm gonna match my wig to the mood.
I see.
That's how we do that.
I
That's how we do
see.
that.
I see. Well, you have with you again a wonderful array of folks. Let's introduce these fabulous beings.
Well, you know, we always bring my comedians out from the I'm about to say the woodworks.
From the trenches.
From the trenches. Because a lot of us, you know, we ain't working right now. Some of us. I got comedian Leah Sampson.
Hi.
And then comedian Major J. Smith.
Hello. I wasn't working before, so we could.
You know what, Major?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. It is good to have you guys here. So how has life been treating the two of you? What's been going on?
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, I know some interesting stuff with
Yeah.
you, Miss Leah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, I too change my wigs when I want something, and also change them when I'm hiding from people. I owe money too. But recently I was, I was about to say convicted. That's not the word.
No, not convicted.
I have COVID. That's what happened. I have COVID. Thank you.
Okay, so you.
And so wash your
Wow.
hands after watching the video. Yeah, and it was crazy because I don't know how I got it, and it's interesting because people are treating COVID like it's a STD. They're like, oh, who was you talking to? Who was you hanging out with? I'm like, I went to the mailbox. You know, this was God's plan for me. You know, so,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of
contagious.
right. Like it's just
over.
It's in the air.
it's
like,
in
what
the,
you gonna
it's
do?
really it's inevitable. It really is, you know, and it's just, it happened. I don't know where I got it, so but I did treat it like an STD. I just blamed the last person I was with. So
You know what?
I survived. I'm good. I'm happy. Low key, I got it out the way, so I can
You know what I'm
kind of
saying?
like skip in the grocery store now and not fear for my life. So.
Antibody game is crazy. now.
Already, bro. I put that in my profile. Like, I put
You know what,
that in my bio.
Leah?
Sure did.
It's on your Tinder
Lost
profile now?
lost 3 followers. But, you know, haters don't hate, so.
Lost 3 followers.
I'm
You
here.
should have been gaining followers. So
Right.
so you should leverage this deal, right? So you're a survivor now.
I'm a survivor.
The big C.
Of the big
Yes.
C.
Yeah.
There you
Or
go.
maybe we should call it the
There you
little
go.
C, because there is another C, and we don't want to even talk about that.
I'm the big one.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I'm
more
just saying.
important.
Yeah.
I survived.
But so were there any complications, any scary moments for you in
All
that
of
whole
it.
equation?
Everything on it. Like I was saying, like I feel like COVID. Everyone's calling COVID Rona. Like she's a woman. COVID is a true man because he doesn't know what he wants to do. It's something different every day. Every day I had something different. I didn't know if I was dying, pregnant, diabetic. I didn't know what was happening. Like honestly, it was. I had every symptom you could think of, and it's like it wasn't in order. And like the last time I was here, I felt cool. I felt like I had like asthma problems, but I felt fine.
Yeah.
And then I got tested the next day, and then literally the day after that, it was the shakes, the chills, the
Wow.
temperature, the everything, the like it was just insane. Like the aches felt like I played football. You know,
Are you serious?
I
Did you
swear it
have
was bad.
trouble sleeping too?
I had
I've
trouble
seen a lot of
sleeping,
people
trouble
say that.
breathing, trouble talking, trouble everything. Like everything was bad.
But since it happened, like you were feeling good, and then the next day you had, do you think part of it was a little mental? A little?
Well, I'm crazy by birth, so I just feel like I kind of like exacerbate everything that happens to me. So like at first I thought I had like a really bad sinus infection because I sneezed like 3 times a day or something. But You know, it's funny you say that. I think the mental part comes into how you get it. I think we talked about this last time, how you can like mentally make yourself sick. Like,
Wow.
you fear yourself
Well,
so
it's
much
what
for
they call
happening.
psychosomatic.
Yeah, and I think
right?
I did have that before. Because I'm I'm prone to like getting sick all the time. So, yeah, because I don't know how I got it. But like I said, I'm happy it's out the way. Like, honestly, I survived. I'm happy I lived. The symptoms were bad. Like, everyone's like, oh, I tripped over a rock and farted. Do I have corona? I'm like, no, you know you have it when you have it. Like,
Right.
You
Wow.
know you have it.
feel it.
Yes,
Wow.
you know you have it.
That is crazy. Well. So I want to get Major in here for a while because we're going to be switching out in a little while. So let's and we're going to keep Miss Leah here.
What's happening?
So what's been going on, Major? What's happening?
Oh, the only thing about this is, I mean, it ain't been nothing going on crazy in my life. It's just nothing to look forward to. Yeah, I have nothing. Maybe a few grocery stores. Now, you can't really meet new women no more because they don't trust new people. So you got to kind of break your ex's hearts again.
Again?
Right.
Yeah, so you're revisiting some old territory.
So you doing throwbacks?
I got you.
Throwback
Yeah,
days.
I made my investments, so I'm cashing in every now and again.
Well, I mean, so the new ones. What if you show your COVID test results? Maybe that'll work. Put that on your.
I ain't going up
profile.
there. Let them people get at me. I'm sorry. Let me not spread that out there. I'm not really a conspiracy guy like that, but yeah, I'm not going up there until I feel something. So I'm.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna get tested.
No.
But you can be asymptomatic.
So are you on the side of like herd immunity, or are you masked up? Are you quarantined? I mean, what's your thought?
I'm just stay away from me, basically.
Staying away from people.
Just staying away. Yeah, just staying away from people. When I need to mask up, I do. But if I had an opportunity to stay away from everybody, so I don't have to, I take that opportunity.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mask up. That's good. That's like the new strap up.
Mask.
I like that. Mask.
Strap up.
Yeah. Mask up. Mask up.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, you know, there's a lot to be said about people right now concerned that the bacteria has mutated.
Yeah.
I think that the word from Baylor was that was not the case, but there was, in fact, some conversation around this idea that the spikes that are on the actual virus have mutated in such a way that they now are much more highly inclined to attach to the lungs and therefore communicate, the virus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that doesn't make it any more deadly. And statistically, the CDC, had it all wrong. I mean, when they first started predicting coronavirus, they said 3%, maybe 4% to 5% death. You realize the Spanish influenza was 3%. It killed 18 million people.
It took years to recover.
That's a beast.
Yeah.
Coronavirus, in its even more expanded terms, they're saying it's less than 0.5% now. So
Yeah, we're at 60,000 cases.
60,000 in Texas.
60,000. No, it says new. It says hit daily record in U.S. with 60,000. It was a
Yeah.
daily record.
Okay, so that means a lot of people are getting it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then didn't the president say if we stop getting tested, then the cases will stop going up?
He sure
yeah.
did.
I mean, that's true, but that's stupid.
That's his brand. So.
Well, so the reasoning. Well, here's what they're not saying. They're not telling you that the CDC's real estimates are between 10 to 100 times more cases than are being reported. So what we think is, let's say right now we say it's a million cases, not deaths, but say a million cases. Then what they're saying is there's between 10 to 100 million people that actually have it. And what you described, Leah, just a little while ago, in early January, and I remember it implicitly because it was my birthday. I got hit the day of my birthday. I could not get out of bed.
Wow.
And what you just said, that was funny because you put your comedic spin. You just said that it was like a man that didn't know what the hell he wanted to
Yes.
do,
Yes.
Every day I was like, oh, my back. And then I was coughing, and it was crazy.
Were you
Yes.
able to do
I had
those
fever,
yoga
body
poses?
aches, huh?
Were you able to do like the yoga poses?
It helped. It helped. It did help. I was.
What
I
yoga
couldn't-
poses was you doing? Because
No.
I was crying baby pose. I
Well,
was
but,
all that.
but
Nothing worked.
something about that virus, and I want everybody to really hear me, because I've now interviewed enough people that had it to say that it likes when you lie down. It
Yeah.
likes when you stay
That's so
still.
true. Yeah, I know.
Because
Yeah.
that way it starts to fill your lungs
That's
with
so
that
true.
fluid. You got to get up and move.
Yeah, walk
You
around,
got to
do
move
something.
despite how bad it feels.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I almost fainted because I took my
Yeah,
butt
me
down
too.
to the supermarket
Yeah.
unwisely, saying I got to get, which I knew what I needed. I needed probiotics. I needed essential green food. I needed vitamin C and vitamins and zinc. And that is the formula, because I got back home. But I the only reason I didn't fall out in the store is because just as I'm getting to the cash register, I'm like
Yeah.
the room is doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I do not want to be in the ambulance.
That
I don't want to
person.
be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy.
Become
right?
that meme,
And then all of a sudden the cashier's like, could you wait a minute, honey? I got to go get something for this guy. And so I was like, okay. And then I acted like I was looking at something like candy bars.
Right, yeah.
I bent down. I was down there, but the people behind me was like, he sure is studying the hell out of those candy bars. And it took enough time for me to get my SNAP and get up and pay and get the heck home.
So what was the time span like?
From what to?
I got over it in 5 days.
Okay.
Okay.
But I was sick that first 2 or 3 days. I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
The fourth day is when I went to HEB. But I'm telling you, I'm mega dosed on probiotics.
Yeah.
And most people don't know that, but it's a naturopathic trick, so to speak. It works because what you're doing is you're bombarding your system with high levels of good bacteria. Once you arm it, you're set.
you're good.
But Major, let's find out where you're going to be and what you're doing, because we're going to be switching out here in just a moment. So I want to make sure that
I will
folks.
be home away from everybody. Follow me at Major J Smith, both Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, same thing, but I'm not really on there. Get you in trouble.
You know what?
No, seriously. Stay away from Twitter if you can.
It's bad.
Just scroll. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Major J. Smith.
Follow me.
Well, cool beans. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on. So, folks, you're listening to the Edge Radio Network here on 1540 AM, 101.7 FM. When we come back, we're going to be graced by the voice of a familiar radio personality that I had the pleasure of being interviewed by. So, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will introduce our special guest. Back in a moment here on the Edge Radio Network.
Edge Radio Network, where we have conscious conversation.
Edge is about love, relationships, and healing.
Edge Radio is for everyone and about everyone.
Edge is about working together.
Edge Radio is about recreating a beautiful body.
Edge is about community, synergy, and empowerment.
Edge is about being kind, compassionate, and loving to all.
And Edge Radio is about beauty and fashion.
各位观众 ，Edge Radio 是大家最好听的一个电台，不要忘记听哦。Yeah, I love Radio. You can hear all about the topic and join us soon.
Edge is about being on the edge and not jumping. Yes.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters. Been feeling a little edgy lately? Listen to Edge Radio. That'll push you over the top. 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
Pasadena.
Are you tired of hurting? Is there something you would like to do that you can no longer do without pain? This is Dr. Arango with Arango Chiropractic Clinic. It might be time for you to try chiropractic. Chiropractic emphasizes that the way the body is structured is highly related to the way it functions. Spinal misalignment can cause pain, decreased range of motion, and organ dysfunction. Spinal dysfunction can originate from car accidents, work accidents, and other types of trauma. They can also come from improper chronic postures and repetitive motions such as sitting at a computer or daily chores. Doctors of chiropractic use manipulations to the spine and most other joints to restore proper function and decrease pain. For more information, visit us at HoustonChiroClinic.org or call us at 713-868-6166.
Do you ever leave work and wish you were going anywhere but home? Hi, I'm Dr. Viviana Coles, and I named that feeling Homeward Bound Dread. At Houston Relationship Therapy, we help couples and individuals work through the many challenges faced while in relationships. Our experienced and dedicated relationship therapist can help make going home a welcome thought for you. Call 713-542-2221 or book online at HoustonRelationshipTherapy.com. Schedule your appointment today and rediscover intimacy now at Houston Relationship Therapy.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM Houston, Pasadena. Clear.
Injured on the job? For the past 3 decades, Arango Chiropractic Clinic has been treating patients who have been injured on the job in automobiles while playing sports or at home. As a result, the clinic has expert personnel who can help you with your workers' compensation or automobile claim to ensure that you receive the best health care and benefits. We welcome and offer same-day service to most workers' compensation and personal injury cases and honor many other insurance plans. To find out if yours is among them, simply give us a call at 713-868-6166 and we'll be happy to check for you. If your insurance plan doesn't cover chiropractic care or if you're not presently insured, we offer other payment options that will make seeking treatment easy. Call us for the health of it at 713-868-6166 or for more information, visit us at HoustonChiroClinic.com. 713-868-6166.
And we are back. This is Edge Radio, 1540 AM, 101.7 FM. And I am Tressa Ellaby here with my host, Oscar Hines, over to my right. And we have Leah Sampson over to the far right. And I'm going to let Oscar bring our guest here. Put that in there. Yes.
Well, it is a pleasure and honor to have this fine lady in the house. I had the privilege of actually being on the other side of the mic at the hands of Miss Tennille here on the jams. You were just hanging out
95.3 Jams.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm telling you, it is your favorite show to listen to on a Tuesday morning. I'm telling you, I have a lot of fun with that show. I've been doing it for several years now, and I meet a lot of phenomenal people. I will be getting numbers before I leave, just so y'all know, okay? Because I love a good interview, and everybody's been talking away today. So, yeah.
It's great to have you here. Well, so what made you sort of fall into the radio space to begin with? What was the attraction?
Okay, so let's say this. I even went to a radio and TV high school in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so I got a lot of direction from Louis White. He used to be the Wolfman on KKDA when I was young, so we were like this, you know. And I just tried to get away from it. I went to school to be a lawyer, actually, at Texas A&M University. That definitely didn't work out because clearly my personality is not set up for that.
Every lawyer just now went, what the hell does that mean?
My personality is definitely not set up for that. The work that it took, political science, remembering dates, I'm not doing any of that. I kind of like to live a little free, Look, let me just do me. I like to travel, so I do a lot of traveling with my radio stuff and this voice of mine,
That is very, very cool. Well, I think everybody gets seduced into radio sort of a different way. And I remember being interviewed and thinking, this is really cool. My voice is going out and all sorts of people are hearing me right now.
America, nowadays with the way social media is set up, everybody has the opportunity to hear you. It does not matter where they're from. I'm more popular in Chicago than I am here in Houston. And there's so many people here, you would just assume that you'd fall in some space, but my place is Chicago, you know. All right. Look at that. Gal shot. So yeah, like I said, I have a lot of fun with it. I do motorcycle shows. I do whatever people will pay me to do at this point. Nice. I just don't want to have to sit behind anybody's desk because I've fallen asleep at several of those computers, you know. I know my employers would be like, yeah, we knew that you were over there asleep. Okay.
We figured that out.
So do you like ride motorcycles, or is that just...
I used to ride. I don't ride anymore. Yeah. I'll ride behind somebody, but I'm more like hosting them and showing the bikes, you know. Nice. I'm that girl, you know. Give me a check, you know, because most of the time the people just ride and do whatever. I want a check at all times. I'm going to ask for a check. Might ask y'all for a check after this.
Okay. Pay me.
I'm here. I showed up, you know.
That's right. No, I love bikes, you know. That's been... I've ridden for, I don't know, 20 years or more.
You should check out some of the bikes that I've worked with. One of them that is really famous is the Obama bike. And it's out of Chicago, and him and his wife's face is engraved in it. It's like, you know, the low style shorty. Yeah. It's got big fat wheels on it. It looks really nice. It's red, white, and blue. Even on the license plate, it has, you know, President 44 and all of that on there. So
that's cool.
It's real nice.
That's cool.
So that's where the vest come from.
Well, you know, it's a little bit of a residual thing. Exactly. Yeah. You know, you gotta. It's a tapestry. You gotta peel back the onion.
The layers.
Look now. Okay. Now I understand him and his vest because this is a bike man. Okay.
Hey, look, she rags on me for my vest.
For your vest.
Like, really? Yeah.
I've got one at the house that loves vests too, and the kids are always like, "Why you always putting it on?" I say, "That's when your daddy think he cute." Right.
Well, it does serve if you have any belly, you know, the vest kind of it detracts from that possibility. Yeah. It's a little chicanery there. Yeah.
It's your wig. Yeah. The vest is your wig. Different.
It's a male waist trainer.
So Leah, just a minute ago, you said that you would have worn a different wig, but then you decided against it. What was that about?
Really, the way I do my wigs is how I feel and who I'm hiding from. That's the two things. So let's say if it's a beautiful day and I have nothing to do, and I'm just going to go out and get a drink or something, you know, post-apocalypse, then it'll be something flowy, real cute, very deceiving. And then if I am trying to hide from somebody, like maybe a guy that I met at that same bar the night before, and I used a British accent with him so I can get a free drink, then I'm gonna do
British accent. That is hilarious.
The curly.
I kind of like to hear this British accent.
I already sold myself out, so but
But
I'll do it though.
She was saying that she was gonna wear her other wig that's kind of like mine, but she said that I posted a picture of her. And she looked like Rick James.
I look like Rick James. And I was really upset about it because I was very excited that we did the show. Yeah. And you took the photo, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what's And then boom, Rick James, Jerry curl, dripping juice.
Mary Jane.
I don't look like that. Do you?
No, you did not.
You look a certain way that you see yourself on camera, and it's like, did nobody tell me my face was asymmetrical?
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
And they're gonna take you any way you come. Any way you come, they're gonna take it.
That's right.
So when you use this accent.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes, Tressa.
Is that the accent?
This is the accent. I love vodka tonics, and I usually I'm a red and sour. I don't really drink, but if you want to buy me something, then don't think you're gonna get anywhere. Second drink, then we can talk. That's kind of
a Cockney accent.
It's a bit of a Cockney. It's like England from the hood.
But you see, I'm not going there with y'all. And that's why I say Yorkshire, because apparently that's like the hood of England.
From the hood.
You know what? It's gotten really bad, y'all. I've created a whole alias for myself. I've created a whole storyline, background. Because when you
what's her name? Philippa?
Sam.
Oh, it's Sam.
Samantha. Yeah,
you know what? I'm like, this is gonna come back out, and I'm gonna have like a million Twitter DMs. Like, I knew it. I knew your dad was in the military. You don't know how to spell. You're not smart. It's military kids. You go to very fine school.
Y'all are so silly.
But you know what? I don't care. I got my drink. You got my time.
So, Tennille, when you've interviewed a lot of people over a course of time, and they're good interviews and bad interviews. As a broadcaster, what constitutes a good versus a bad interview?
Let me say this. When you get ready to get in front of a camera or in front of a microphone even, no camera, please be prepared. Have your answers for your Facebook or Instagram pages. That is like the simplest thing. That is the only way you can promote yourself. See, I'm even branded today. Yeah. I've got stuff going on left and right, okay? But I'm making sure that I remember all the pieces of the puzzle that I need to bring to the table when it's time, okay? Do that. Don't sit in front of me and I ask you a question that came off your own fact sheet that you don't know the answer to, or you're saying yes, no. Well, those are the worst answers you could ever possibly give, and it makes it really hard for the person interviewing you to get the point across.
Yes.
Like, I can't tell people that you're passionate about this, and all I'm getting is yes, no, well, maybe. It's hard. I don't know. How about you answer the question? I did answer the question off your fact sheet your PR person sent me.
If they have a PR person, you would hope that they would prepare them for that, right? So
that's another part of the problem.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're still not prepared.
They're not prepared, yeah.
But we not gonna get out there dirty on Houston today.
Right.
Make sure you're working with the right people. Do that.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
That part.
Well, to your point, there are a lot of people that are ill prepared. Some people, I like to watch their level of nervousness or apprehension because their body language and they're overcompensating.
Chewing gum, all those things are part of it.
And so, how do you put them at ease before they get to rolling with you?
Okay, so when I'm putting somebody at ease and I can tell they're kind of, edged up during an interview or whatever, or it's about to start, I tell them, hey, look, this is going to be like two homegirls or a homeboy and a homegirl talking. Nothing's here. Nobody's watching you. We're just going to have a conversation. I'm not rigid at all. It's not like a set line of questioning. I always make sure that I listen so that I can lead into whatever they're already kind of flowing on because that's what they feel comfortable in. So most people have a pretty good time with me on I'm Just Saying. And I keep it simple. Simply Tennille. You can't beat that, okay? Right. Period. I keep it simple.
So I should be complicated Oscar as well.
Complicated Oscar.
Oscar could. He can be a little complicated.
I think the kind of interview you got to cut off when you. We're moving on to the next subject.
Well, what I learned early in life, honestly, was that information was a resource that you should always take advantage of. So I am that kid that was reading psychology today at 13, so I could figure out my friends' behaviors. I was that guy.
He wanted to manipulate them.
Right. Hey, look, but it's funny you say that, Tennille. I read a book, and it was actually one of those books that sort of shifted the trajectory for me a little bit because I realized I was persuasive at a young age. And it was a book I found, and it's still around. You find it, I'm sure, on Amazon or something, called Man the Manipulator.
Okay.
And I was like, what a name. And at the time, the word manipulation to me was like blasphemy. It was like heresy. A manipulator is such a deplorable person. And I start reading the book, and the first whole chapter is dedicated to just the word manipulation. And it talks about how manipulation is the maneuvering or changing of a point of view. And every single time you encounter another human being, doesn't matter if it's your spouse and you're trying to decide what you're getting for dinner, or some business deal that can make your company millions, you are in there to influence an outcome. Either they're going to decide for you or you're going to decide for them.
So we're always manipulating.
All of us.
All the time.
All of
us. And it can be used for good. It doesn't necessarily have to be such a negative connotation behind it. You know what I mean? But yeah, if I need to close a deal, I'm going to have you see things my way. Manipulation.
Speaking of closing deals, let's talk about my shirt.
Well, let's talk about your shirt, but let's talk about it after the break.
Gotcha.
So we are going to
manipulation.
We're going to take a moment to reset your mind, folks. You're listening to the Edge Radio Network here on 1540 AM, 101.7 FM. We'll be back on the Morning Edge in just a moment.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
We work our whole lives to support our families.
Health professionals, we are a dedicated medical practice designed to meet your health needs in the most efficient manner possible. At Avanta Health Professionals, we specialize in medical services that include diabetes, heart disease, pain management, hypertension, obesity. For more information, visit us at avantahealthprofessionals.com. For an appointment, call us at 713-885-9899. 713-885-9899.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM. Edge Radio.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire.
We are back having a fabulous and fantastic conversation with the amazing Miss Tenille. We got Leah
Simply
in the
dot
house.
Tenille.
Simply dot Tenille. I love that. Is it and it is hysterical dot Leah? Is that
Hysterically, fantastically, never on time, trying to change that. Showered this morning, Leah Sampson.
Okay, well that's short. That's I think that you
That's
could
short.
like Bitly that bad boy right there.
Very much. It's definitely not simple.
So sometimes we talk about keeping it simple. So what makes it simply Tenille?
I just every single day just try to remember to be simply me. I just want to be me 24/7. I love who I am. I have come a long way, let's just say that. I've done a lot of things, but I had to find those pieces that make me me. And I'm going to keep them simple, and I'm going to stick to those. And hopefully it takes us somewhere good, you know. I have a hot shot delivery company, you know, so I'm a trucker. I definitely don't look like a trucker. It's like you cannot put me in a little box because I got so many different pieces of the puzzle. We talked about the motorcycles. I also ride horses. You know, I ride in Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Parade every year.
Nice.
So it's a lot.
That's cool.
But it's a little because it's just simply me. As long as you take me for me, you good.
That's awesome. I love that. So during the course of time, let me ask you, Tresso, you obviously wear the battle scars of a woman that's been through some things, right, in life. I often look at older people as like veterans of war. True. So the most significant spin or twist in life is usually the ones we remember. Is there anything that just stood out for you that was just a big one for you?
Just a twist in life in general.
Yeah, that you didn't expect, that took you off course.
Although I'm still very, very much in the hair and beauty industry, and have a business in education and product lines and things like that, I still never thought that I would no longer want to do hair. That was scary to me, because I started doing hair illegally. About 9, 10, like I could do
working
a full,
in the sweatshop.
I could do a full sew-in by 10.
Right.
My mom
Wow.
used to take me with her to the salon, and I learned by watching, And so I learned by watching. I did eventually, become licensed when I was 19. I'm 42. And so I was burnt out of doing hair, like physically doing it, by about 25 years old.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand at the time what was going to happen to me, because I was actually the person that was like, I really didn't want to go to college. I eventually went, but I didn't want to. My whole life was about doing hair. I'm going to open these salons and things like that. So now my dreams are coming to fruition when it comes to owning a school and things like that. But it was scary that I didn't have the desire. I didn't want to touch anybody's head. I didn't want to, my family, they would beg me to do it, and I just didn't want to do it. And so I eventually got back into it heavily in about 2013 and continued on in the business.
Yeah.
But it was just a scare. I know this might not be a big deal, but I've always been in sales, but I didn't want to do that forever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, what am I going to do with myself if I don't physically want to do hair anymore? But that led me to stay in the business.
So it helped you had to redefine yourself in many respects.
I had to. Like, how could I stay in the business but not be standing up doing hair in a salon?
Yeah.
And I just never thought that was going to happen.
I get that. I was in that business, so I understand how that burnout can happen. Mm-hmm. And you kind of remind me of someone that worked for me for years, who I really loved and appreciated, and then eventually we parted ways, and she took all my clients because they were in love with her instead of me. But that's a whole different story. So Tennille, what was life changing for you? What was a time in life where you were this was the trajectory, and then all of a sudden it went boom and just got bumped into a whole other direction?
So let's also say this: when I was young, I've been famous for sports since I was really little. Probably about 5th or 6th grade, people saw talent in me. I ran with USA Track and Field, got to travel with that as well. It just kept going even through high school. I was awarded for most decorated female athlete, this, that, and the other, right? So I should be a world-class athlete right now, right?
Olympics.
I ran sprints, I got invited to the Olympics in 12th grade.
Wow, nice.
Got to college, and we talked about that political science and that law degree, right? I was begging like every semester just to stay in. I had not ever had to make a decision on my own. My mom was very, very strict, if you will. Every decision was made. I got to school and lost it all. The club was across the street, and it was like you just got to tip over there, and nobody's gonna make me go to class. Yeah. Nobody's gonna do any of this. Right. I could just sit in here I could sit in here every day, and I had manipulated my mother into making sure I had my car, because I told her that I failed the first semester because I didn't have my car, and I had to make friends, of course, to be able to get places. So it was a lot. So with going to school and with running and still traveling, because in college you do travel a lot, I just couldn't keep up with both. And so I had to make a decision: either I'm going to graduate, which was really important to my mom, of course, or I'm going to run. I'm going to travel and run. And I probably should have went with my dream. But of course, you know how we are. We try to please our parents and those people who have, sacrificed for us. And I've let it go.
Yeah.
Wow. And at that point, I was like, oh my God, all my life I've been thinking I was going to be a runner. And what am I going to do now? You know, maybe become a coach later or something. You know, you never know what that's going to lead into. But here came radio and TV. Again, I had to get a job because I let my scholarship go, you know, and I was working at 90.9 KAMU, you know, NPR station. So it just kept popping back into my life. So it keeps drawing me back.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Wow. So you sometimes will probably go through that. I could have been a contender, like a real contender in that space.
I was Allison Felix back then.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remembered making a decision when I was choosing schools, and my parents, I don't even remember them talking to me about anything. It was just like, all right, go ahead. There were 8 kids. It was like, all right, whatever. Yeah.
Hopefully you go.
Yeah, just don't get arrested, you know, or have a baby.
Right. That was the big one.
Yeah.
Don't you bring no babies home.
That's right. Exactly. But I remembered turning down an opportunity to go to music and art in New York City. And that would have led to the next opportunity, which was Juilliard, the acting school. I loved acting when I was a kid. I had a defining moment on the stage in a play, and it shifted.
And you knew that's what you were supposed to do.
And then I went and decided to do business instead.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah.
And literally
something rigid that didn't even fit your persona.
Well, you know, I mean, I sort of think I have a right and left brain. I'm good with numbers. I'm good with, you know, creative stuff. I feel pretty ambidextrous brain-wise, right? But what was creative and expressive to me was what made me feel alive. The other stuff was just stuff, and it's always been that way. And so I think it goes back to telling our kids to really follow their dreams. And sometimes their dreams to us might sound absurd, but follow your dreams. I mean, if everybody did that, what a different world we'd live in.
It would. And people would be so much happier. I find a lot of happiness in doing this, but I can only afford to be a creative, if you will, because my trucking company took off. I've been running here in the Houston area for 11 years now.
Amazing.
So it's like, what do? You know, you want to tell people to live those dreams, but how they gonna fund it?
Absolutely.
You know?
I agree with that. I've definitely learned that through comedy. Like before, I wanted to be an actress as well. And that was like what I've always wanted to do since I was little. And then a lot of things at home happened. And then I ended up telling myself, I'm going to be an actress, I'm going to go to college, and if the acting doesn't work, I'm going to be a lawyer on the side. That's what you do. You be a lawyer and make your parents happy and all that jazz. And then life took over, and then I'm homeless at 16. So I was like, okay, they don't have a YouTube video for this one. Let's backtrack. So I pretty much just spent, and I beat myself up so much because I was like, my friends are in college and they got they living on campus and they're doing the whole gang signs and all that, whatever they do in the college stuff. But I'm like, I'm gonna do gang signs, but I had to eat. So I spent from, well, not 16, I guess from like 17, 18 till about 21, just working. I ended up getting adopted by a family, and they really just set me straight in the and she's my godmom now, and she's actually a teacher. And so I was like, cool, because school was important to me to finish. For me, I was like, if I can't do nothing else, like I can do school, I can get a degree and not let my upbringing define who I am. But I've always but I love to act. I love the arts. I've always loved the arts. I remember being like 10 years old, Googling HSPVA and just imagining going, like I was that person. And then things got good. I started going to school. I got, my car, my apartment, my job. I was working at the bank at Wells Fargo, which actually it wasn't Wells Fargo. It was something else. They're not paying me to say their name, so I take it back. I take it back. And take it back. Yeah. Be with a credit union. But and everything was great. Everything was perfect. But I felt so unhappy. I was like, something's not right.
How long were you homeless?
I was homeless for about 2 years. I was sleeping in friends, with the guy at the time. And I was sleeping in his truck sometimes. I was sleeping at friends' houses. I stayed with the family, but then they tried to send me to a homeless shelter and things like that. So I was just trying to find where I could, live. And then this family adopted me and I met this family. I was working at Jamba Juice. Now that's a plug. I love Jamba Juice. Like that, they did me good.
You get paid for all
That's
this?
the plug right there.
Well.
And I was working at Jamba Juice, and I was working with a guy, and I needed a ride home to the house that I was staying in, and this was 2 days before I was going to go to the women's homeless shelter. And so of course I'm just feeling defeated, and so I get a ride from his dad, and he's like, what's your story? Like, just tell me about you. And I was like, oh, okay, like, do I owe you money? Like, I don't have it, you know. But he was just like, really, like, what's going on with you, and what are you about? And I was just like, I work at Jamba Juice, and I'm 17 and whatever. Anyways, he was like, I want to invite you over to talk to my wife. And I was like, okay. And this was all really weird to me, but I was like, what else would I have to do? So the next day I had dinner at their house, told them what was happening with me. They talked, and then the next day they're like, you're moving in with us. So
that's awesome.
The day before I was supposed to go to the homeless shelter, they moved in with me. So that gave me so much more hope to like do what I wanted, what I felt like I wanted to do. So I started going to school, doing this, doing that, and I was still just so unhappy. And then I actually went through. Y'all might not think this is interesting, but look, breakups.
Well, you're gonna give us a bit more condensed version.
Breakups are bad, okay?
Yeah.
Especially at 20 years old, because you think you're gonna marry him and trust you not.
Yeah.
So okay, so
we went to a whole relationship.
Yeah, but that's what got. But like that was like the tragedy. Like I thought I had went through tragedy, but like that was a tragedy that woke me up, and I was like, you know what? Do you, boo? So then I moved to Austin, and then I started doing comedy, and the rest was history. And Hear Me Bitch podcast was formed.
There we go. I love it. So out of tragedy comes triumph.
It does.
You know,
does. It takes
the
time.
rose,
It does.
the flower grows out of the manure, right?
Very true. It does. It truly does. And other things grow out of manure.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Magic mushrooms.
I'm like magic ones.
So, well, look,
not the magic ones.
Not the magic ones. Just some mushrooms, not the good ones. You know, hey, look, you got to breed those other ones.
You're gonna have people going through the manure.
That's right. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. Every day I turn the news on, I go through manure. So nonprofit is something that obviously you took to heart, and you started doing some different things in that space. Tennille, what really moved you, and what kind of drew you in?
Here we are. Okay, so I have never been the type of person that wanted to be a teacher or be around kids for any long periods of time. I definitely did not babysit. You know, the Lord decided to give a person who didn't babysit twins. You know, why would you do that? You know, so after all of that, you know, I kind of started being around other kids, because you got to, you know, have your children around other kids, this, that, and the other. Talked to a little boy. He was a sweet little boy. I don't want to give his name out because he would die. Found out, you know, he was kind of giving the school problems, and they had asked me to talk to him since they knew we had a relationship. Talked to the little boy after fact finding, and he told me he was having problems with PE. You know, I'm like, everybody likes PE. Why would you not want to participate in PE? Out of all things, it's like an extra recess, right?
Right.
So he told me his mom could not afford to buy his uniforms that were required by the school and the underwear. He had lots of brothers and sisters, and the underwear kind of went boom. So he could not dress out for PE because his friends would see.
Right.
So at that very moment, of course, you know, because things like this, you would think that his mom had somebody to talk to, or, you know, to be able to go get something like that. But pride stops a lot of us from saying some of the problems that we have, because I definitely would have bought, you know, I know him. I would have bought him some underwear, which is what I wound up doing. So to take it out of my personal pocket, because I found out that this is a huge problem here in the Houston area. There's tons of kids going without undies, like I like to call them. And that's how Annual Underwear Affair got started. So I started buying underwear. I started asking other people, can you give, you know, some money for me to go and pick up some underwear? I give them a week's worth of underwear. I give them a snow cone and a backpack so they can go for back to school. And it is what it is. I don't make them, you know, answer any questions, but they get socks, which, you know, help prevent from athletes' feet. So they're protecting themselves from disease. I spoke with some nurses. Girls who don't change undergarments spread disease even faster. Okay, so in these areas that are underserved, it's really, really important for something as simple as a pair of underwear. You would never think that it would cause that many problems. In the wintertime, undershirt makes you stay a lot warmer.
Yeah.
Socks definitely make you stay warmer. All of these things can be fixed by a pair of underwear. You're like, okay, let me start figuring out how to get these underwear. So this year I've kind of teamed up. I got Walmart support. I got a little Target support. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, because when people go out for nonprofits, you think all this money's going to come pouring in. You definitely have to do the work. Yeah. You definitely have to go and pick up stuff and, make relationships with people you never would have thought that you would make. I've run into a lot of churches who are getting free donations like that, but it's not getting to the community. Right. I go set up right up in Fifth Ward, pass out my undies and my snow cones, and these kids get to walk away and they get their little week's worth of underwear and they get to be happier, healthier, and safer. And I just love it.
That's cool.
I'm gonna keep pushing.
That's very noble because it's a very different niche. It's not something anybody thinks about. Right. So I'm the only guy on this. I don't know. You guys have all had. So men tend to wear like torn underwear, like they'll put it back on. Yes. They'll recycle. Yes. What do you all, as women, what do you all think that this is all about?
Let me sit up.
Nastiness. Pure nastiness.
How did the homes get there? We do not.
Nastiness.
Why?
Who? How?
Why? Why you all want to wear it?
Don't cast somebody.
It's not everybody, but there are several out there.
All men, but there are several that do Monday, Tuesday, same underwear. Wednesday, Thursday, same underwear.
Ooh.
No.
Don't you get itchy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand, and you sweating and playing ball in them, and I don't get it.
Skid marks.
Do you know? There was a post that it was a woman asking for help. She just got married to this man, and apparently they didn't consummate. They consummated their relationship after the biblical way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Amen.
And she
no underwear check.
And she finds out that he has skid marks because no real man would open his cheeks to clean.
Oh, that is disgusting.
A real
man will wipe his butt.
Because a real man doesn't open his cheeks to clean it, so that's why he has skid marks. And so when she talked to him about it, he screamed at her. That would have been the last conversation we got.
We wouldn't even have to have a conversation. When he gave me the answer that was inappropriate for him to wash his. What? I would have been done.
But you all know that the guy had like an emotional sickness, right?
Clearly,
she did too.
Yeah, but I'm saying she may have been deceived. So let's at least give her that allowance. But the guy is justifying a nasty habit. Probably, but it could probably be something sinister.
I would like to think that I would know that a guy was doing all that. I would like to be able to look at you and tell,
Oh, she didn't support it.
She was just trying to figure out what should she do because she
paperwork. Soak him in a bleach bath.
You said right. Put some bleach in.
Put bleach in his water and let him sit.
He go to sleep or something.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Girl, that's how you get beat up.
I don't understand men in the holes. Why would you still wear drawers with holes in it?
But you know what? This is just me because I like to blame a lot of bad things on men. But I feel like, kind of what you were talking about with what you do. I think a lot of I've just kind of observed from certain men that I've been around. I don't think they're raised like to take care of themselves and like women are.
To wear clean.
But if no one is telling
at this
them,
point.
If now, because these kids that
they're
are
raised by their mamas.
I raised mine to clean. They need to take a bath every day.
Kids who they're one of 8 kids, and they may have like a single mom, and their mom is it's just gonna are you wearing underwear? It's gonna slip her mind. She's not gonna tell her kids every single day. And kids are not gonna just wake up and be like, I should wear underwear. No, they're gonna do everything else.
They're gonna go commando.
So I think it just continues. And I think
definitely not. Kids immediately out the chute when they're young say that they have to have on all those pieces. If you've been putting them on them, they feel like they need that to survive. They will be like, oh my God, I don't have an undershirt. I have had this conversation. I'm like, baby, you know what? You're 5. You don't really need it today. Mommy didn't wash or whatever like this. I can't go anywhere like that. it goes back to the parent. If the parent has been doing that, but if you don't have money for it, now that's something completely different.
Right, that's different.
But if you've been doing it, they're gonna work out.
But I had a
That's what your mama used to tell you,
I had a
right?
moment.
Wash them on your hands.
I had a moment when I was a kid, and so I relate to the fact, this shyness thing. But I remembered a particular day, I had to pee, but we were running late. So I was peeing, and they were rushing me out of the house. They're going to leave me. So, I left some trickles still in the tube, right?
Help us, Jesus.
And I put my pants on, jump, run in the car, and a little leaked out, and I felt all embarrassed. It was wet, but it dried. And then I get to school that day, and Miss Grayson, the teacher, the strong smelling
I like the way
perfume,
you said Grayson.
She gets me, come up here, and I get right next to her, and she goes, and she's one of these sensitive nose people.
Oh my
and
goodness,
she says,
that's
does
so
something smell like pee? And I was like, no. Like, did somebody fart? No, definitely not me.
Oh wow.
But it was so humiliating.
Yeah.
And I was just, she knew it was me, I knew it was me, but it was humiliating. So I can see kids that go through an experience that just say, I am humiliated by this. It could scar them.
Yeah.
So their self-esteem,
Especially if they run across my kids, because they are definitely the ones that are like, somebody stank. Did you do something? He'll try to check your pants. I'm like, sir, you can't be checking folks. Don't be trying to check folks. Did you do something? They are 7.
Wow.
7 years old, but he will try to check his friend's pants. I think you did something. You need to go to the bathroom.
That's a good friend. I want a friend like
he's
that.
a very good friend. He's somebody.
Like
he think he's somebody daddy already. It's horrible.
See,
that's the friend that tell you that your track is slipping. It's like, thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
That is absolutely crazy. But so, a lot of times when kids have those formative experiences, it either shapes them in a good way or a bad way. And I've just been, having conversations, especially with my kids who are young adults now, about the idea that when you have I heard something yesterday, and I think this might even be a whole other segment, but it was disturbing. Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Everybody's on board, right? All the corporations, everybody's celebrating, etc. It's our time.
Making statements.
It's our time. I heard something so egregious that I want to get to the core of whoever the hell wrote this and said, what the hell were you thinking? In the charter of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I would need to verify this because this is secondhand information. It literally said that one of the aspects of the charter is that you remove the patriarchal influence from the family.
I have heard that.
And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that one of your goals and your missions is to take the father out of the black family? You see, the strongest time for all black families, if you really think about the trajectory of the last 400 years, was in the 1950s after the post-World War and leading up to the 60s. Now, the reason that was a strong time is because nuclear families were being established. People were bringing in paychecks, 2-paycheck families. Black people were buying homes. They were setting up communities. They were becoming shop owners and business owners. And they were supporting the likes of young upstarts like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Those guys had to be financed. They weren't just, the money didn't come out of nowhere.
And remembering that their own areas were good enough. That we like to try to follow a lot now,
Yeah.
So
but that was the scenario. So the Black Lives Matter movement essentially advocates the disruption of that family according to their charter. Now, I would hope that those people that are in charge would say, no, that's not what we meant. Let's take that out.
Right.
But if that is an aim, then to me that's diabolical because that leads to the denigration of a family. So let's chop that up a little bit when we get back. I'm interested, Tennille, in your perspective after being, talking to a lot of people and interviewing a lot of people.
For George Floyd's funeral and all.
Yeah. So I want to jump into that. So, folks, you're listening to the Edge Radio Network. As we talk about different subjects, our topics will vary, but one of the things that we like to do is invite you to join the conversation. So if you'd like to jump on in, the number is 281-587-1540. That's 281-587-1540. We're going to take a break. You're listening to The Morning Edge here on the Edge Radio Network. Back in just a moment.
This is former Rocket Robert Reed.
This is Mel Hewitt of Athletes United.
And we want to talk to you about our new program and podcast. We're talking about former athletes who are doing a lot of things in the community.
Various athletes in various sports. Swimming, track, soccer, football, baseball, you name it.
Former and current athletes here in the greater Houston area.
All promoting wellness, health. All promoting that which makes us all better.
Of Edge Radio, truth still matters.
Chiropractic Clinic, and today I'd like to inform you that Doctors of Chiropractic are primary contact healthcare providers who provide essential care, including but not limited to managing acute and urgent musculoskeletal conditions. These services are critical for managing cases that otherwise could end up in the emergency rooms, worsening an already difficult situation. It is important to note that chiropractic services also keep in place health care providers, first responders, and others who have physically strenuous jobs that support critical infrastructure, such as truck drivers who continue to ensure that America's healthcare and food supplies get to where they are needed during the COVID-19 pandemic. This information was brought to you by Arango Chiropractic Clinic and Edge Radio, 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
Are you ready to be pushed over the edge? Edge Radio, coming soon to 1540 AM and 101.7 FM Houston, Pasadena, Clear Lake, Galveston.
This is Dr. Arango with Arango Chiropractic Clinic to remind you that the knees take a lot of stress in everyday effort. And there are a few simple things that you can do to protect them. Avoid walking in unstable ground, wear proper shoes, lose weight, use ice instead of heat, and avoid daily activities which exacerbate the pain, such as jogging or climbing stairs. Low or no impact exercises such as swimming and bicycle riding are good for these weight-bearing joints. Physical therapy modalities such as ultrasound and interferential muscle stimulation can also help in the restoration of normal joint function. But most important is the joint manipulation performed by a doctor of chiropractic, which restores the normal joint motion that no other medication, rehabilitation, or therapy can achieve. Regular chiropractic care can restore normal joint function and can also prevent injuries. For the health of it, visit us at 1302 North Shepherd. For an appointment, call us at 713-868-6166.
Contact us.
And we are back. You are listening and watching to Edge Radio Morning Show. My name is Tressa Ellaby, and this is 1540 AM 101.7 FM. And I'm with co-host Oscar Hines. Yes. I am with our guest, Simply Dr. Neal, entrepreneur and radio host herself, and comedian Leah Sampson. And so when we left for the break, Oscar was talking about the Black Lives Matter Charter and some interesting things.
Yeah, well, it was disturbing.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
It was interesting. That's the wrong word.
Yeah,
disturbing.
Are we able to look that up? Would we be able to see what the charter says specifically?
I was just trying to find it just real quick, but I didn't get to it yet. But essentially, they were saying that amongst other things, that one of the charters was that inside this charter rather was that the dissolution or the elimination of the patriarchal influence in the family, and that is, for those who don't know, the father, the man in the family. And if you look back at the 1970s, right after the death of Dr. King in '68, right around 1970, some laws were passed, specifically laws related to welfare. And what they started doing was paying more money if the father was not in the house. And that became more pervasive, especially in the 80s. It really became pervasive. So in effect, it was a bit of a reconditioning of behavior where you wanted the men running the streets, so to speak, because at some point, when they run the streets, they're going to get in trouble. And that will lead to imprisonment, which is part of the objective as well. So it's pretty nefarious motives behind all of this. But, you know, so Tennille, no doubt you've had a lot of conversations with people about Black lives since the George Floyd situation. What type of feedback, input, what are they saying out there? What's most impactful for you?
So here's the problem. People are having and wanting to have conversations about what's the next step. How many real solutions have you heard on these podcasts that they're not really giving anything that you can step by step? Like, I'm one of those people, I like to give me the first step, let's go. Let's go past the second one. Once we've completed that, let's go to the next step. I wasn't hearing any different things, but a lot of this, you know, just on my show yesterday, we talked about this is hard for some people mentally. We need to start looking at people's mental headspace. There's been a lot of death on the news. This is affecting our children. They've not seen stuff like that before. They're asking all kinds of questions about, well, why would the police do that to somebody? It's scary for them. So we need to work on mental headspaces first, I think. Talking to people and them saying, you know, this affected them, it makes people scared to go outside, you know. You leave and you don't know if your husband's coming back.
Right.
It's bad. We shouldn't have to feel like this. So in talking to several people, one of the really, really important interviews I got to do was with Jamie Foxx immediately after the funeral. And one of the questions I asked was, why was it so important for you to come here? You know, Trayvon Martin's mom was in the room. Aubrey's dad was in the room. And he was like, to support the people who, after all of this is over, you know, their families are still dealing with this death, but they got to live it. They got to be a personality now because everybody wants to talk to them. And, you know, of course they'd rather have their kid back, but now you're a celebrity for your son dying. Again, the mental play here, in my mind, the mental piece is the most important. I know a lot of y'all are scared to go get therapy and this, that, and the other. We all need it, okay? I've been to therapy several times.
But you know, I heard something, and you have 7-year-old twins, Tennille, that is very specific to this. But they said that by the time a child is 7, and the ones that are growing up in the ghetto, so to speak, in urban situations, they have the equivalent of a soldier's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They've seen death numerous times by the time they're 7. They've seen fights, they've seen violence, they've seen sexual acts. I mean, all of that creates a post-traumatic stress disorder. And, you know, the most, I guess, really malicious group that was infamous for this was back in the early 20th century was Adolf Hitler, and they did studies. They did specific studies around how you can fracture a child's mind
early
before they get to 6. From 0 to 6, there's a formative stage. The mind is in what's called a theta brainwave. That is when you can program somebody. And if they're subjected to sexual trauma, that trauma splits their personality, literally splits their personality. And they know that.
I've read several things about that and how if you can get them past a certain point. I had no idea that by the time we're 4 years old, you're really already who you're going to be mentally. You can recover from things or you can't. At 4, we're stuck from that point right there. If somebody messes you up when you're that little, you know, you thinking all this time that you're building on yourself, you're creating the person that you are, but really on the inside, your mind always reverts back to the same way you dealt with things or the way your mom taught you to deal with things before you were 6.
Yeah. Well, you hear that voice. If you really think about the sound of your mother or your father's voice, you're a dummy. You don't do anything right. You can't think for yourself. Whatever that is, that recording stays with a person their whole life because, again, the brain is like this smooth ball that's getting these little wrinkles, and those wrinkles are memories and emotions and thoughts and ideas, and more specifically, a belief in oneself. So obviously in the conversations, Tennille, you were saying that you haven't heard any other solutions. I've heard this solution a million times. What I haven't heard or seen is the effective implementation of it.
I've seen people even talking about reparations. You know, that's not something we can do right now. And that also requires the African American population to rely on somebody else yet again. The solution is to do it ourselves if we're going to actually make a change.
Right.
Stop relying on the outside.
Right, which is exactly what I was going to say. We're a $1.3 trillion economy as a consumer group. Just in America alone, Canada is a $1.7 trillion economy.
Wow.
We are ranked second to Canada, the country that's right above us. That's insane how much money we wield. Right. And that's why corporations right now, it's not that Aunt Jemima, General Mills, whoever the heck owns that right now, cares about, you know, the perception of Mammy on the label. They're the ones that chained her to the stove, you know, 100 years ago when they started that corporation and thought it was a grand old thing that a Mammy's going to cook our pancakes while we sit out here and drink some lemonade on the porch. Kiss my ass with that bull. I mean, it's so insane and so insensitive, but we grew up thinking that was normal. Right. You know, when I was a kid, there were no black Barbies or black G.I. Joes. Right. That didn't come until after some progressive said, hey, wait, we can make money with these folks. They're consumers. And they're not manufacturers or creators of anything. So you are spot on. It's about joining the economy, but it's about enough people committing. We are a black-owned radio station. I want black people to advertise on this radio station. Right. And I want black people that are watching to watch the advertisement and to buy what that black person's advertising.
Right.
Do that. And then I want you to keep doing that.
Yes. And that's where it starts because, you know, so I talk about this all the time. You will hear just someone that will give an excuse about how they supported a black business once and they had such a bad experience that they're never going to go back again. And it makes no sense. I'm sure there's been plenty of times that you bought something from a non-brown company and were done wrong and you patronized it over and over and over again. So the first step is to try to buy black as much as you possibly can. Now, some things we don't own. We don't have toilet tissue company. Right. We don't have a lot of grocery stores. Right. But in the meantime, start with the things that you can.
Well, but you know what you can't. But what really would be gangster is if you had a coalition and you don't own a toilet paper company, right? But you go to Charmin and you go to Scott and you say, all right, guys, here's the deal. We need to wipe our butts. We're only going to wipe it with one toilet paper. And the one that we wipe it with is going to build a freaking building right in the middle of every black community in this country, and we're going to put black people to work. Right. So which one is it? Yeah. I mean, just imagine if you did that with Coca-Cola, every single company. We'll drink your soft drink, but we'll only do it if you do this.
The problem is with the greed and the pride here, because as soon as we find that one person who's going to go and make mention for the people, they always get misconstrued. You can't have that one person in that mental headspace where they think they're going to be able to control the outcome, because then they get greedy and want to pick this piece out. And who benefits from that?
Well, shouldn't it be a coalition? Because you know one of the things that really pissed me off about Africa. I mean, Africa to me is a tragic story in some respects, but it could become a story of triumph right now. But it's tragic in the sense that Europeans have exploited the chiefs of African tribes forever and a day. And they're still doing the same crap they did 400 years ago. There's no way you can convince me that some white men in a boat a little stick boat can come over to 1 million Zulu warriors on the shores of Africa and do anything that they didn't want. So it required some complicity. It required that some people were complacent or that they were complicit in the act. But nonetheless, now you have people that are enslaved, right? We have a situation right now where all of that can shift if people would get rid of what you just said, Tennille, which is that pride that, oh, he can't be our leader. No, we have a committee. This committee has made a decision. This individual will speak on our behalf. If that's Obama, fine. If that's whoever, that's who's speaking on our behalf, but it's the body of the people. Because every other group, every other ethnic group has these coalitions that they move agendas with. And the WASPs, that's the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, have been the most effective because they established the rules of the game long before anybody else came to play.
Very true. And they also don't care about not abiding by those rules when it comes time. We find ourselves being overly loyal, you know how you were saying, patronizing places that mean us no good
at all.
We are overly loyal to a lot of people, and when we do have those bad experiences with black business, if you will, how many of you have taken time to tell them, this is what I wanted, this is what you gave me, it doesn't match up. I'm not happy at this point. How do we fix this? How do we move forward?
They want to post it on social media so they can
get some
blast
likes.
The business.
You
so
know,
they can blast the business and tell other people to not go there instead of talking to management there and giving your opinion calmly. You know, and maybe they'll listen to that and do something about it. You know, but it's just not a real excuse to me.
So there's tons of pieces that we need. There's tons of pieces that we need to fix. The coalition sounds wonderful. But until we fix those when we fix those mental head spaces where we can allow somebody to be the chief and we participate as Indians, because we have a bad thing about that too, because everybody wants to run the show. Once we get there, then of course.
But I think the whole thing is that people have to be honorable. They have to be honorable. Now, if you look at, like, I have a problem with a lot of these ministers that exploit, and there's white ministers and black ministers. So it's a systemic problem. But the exploitation, because sometimes I almost think that black people defer and want a leader. They want somebody to be like, oh, speak up for us, you know. But at the end of the day, if the leader's corrupt or if the leader is not in line with the moral principles of the country, that's the story of most African nations. They find a family or two, they put them in power, and now this person stays in power for 40 years and they're the puppet of the people. Now, granted, that one family gets rich, but the trickle-down theory doesn't work.
Nothing.
You know? And that's the sad, but that's a human nature question, you know? It goes back to that.
I think, like you said, like when you're 4, I think it even goes back to being 4 years old. What you see and what you experience at that moment, that's who you are. And I feel like in our community, we do go through all the things just before the age of 4 years old. And so I think that, I've always said, and I've always heard, if we all came together, and like we were saying, don't wait on the reparations, don't wait. I'm not against it, give me my money. But, you know, we have, as a people, we have so much power. But I think that even at the age of 4 or 5 years old, we've been told we're not good enough. We've only seen the white Barbies. We've only seen the white commercials. I didn't know why people existed. I'm from Sunnyside. I didn't know why people existed except for like on TV. And then I moved to the suburbs because my mom married a man with money. And I was like, oh, y'all real, you know? But by that age, I kind of thought to myself, like, yeah, I don't know if I can, like, me be a business owner, me having a community that's going to support each other. Okay. And we're harder on ourselves than we are on other people. And I think this isn't an excuse. We need to stop that. But I think it goes back to how we're brought up, how when we're around, we're continuously told that we're not good enough.
Yeah. I am a supreme, let's say this, advocate for family. Okay, you know, we were talking about the fathers being in the home. You need a mom, you need, you know, so you get those even pieces. But if you start fixing your house and you fix your husband's family, you fix your wife's family, and we take it and internalize it where we're working on our small communities, like we take care of that one little small group. If each family decided to do that, we wouldn't have to worry about half of the stuff. We could live on a lot less. A lot more money would be put in the bank. This issue of her being homeless, if her mom, sister, or whoever, somebody in that family would have taken on that responsibility because this is my family. We have to have that piece brought back to us. There's lots of parents outside of the house. Some of these families are, coexisting, if you will. Co-parenting is a big factor, but those people are still your family. Those people are going to rely on you when things are bad. They're also going to be there when things are good with their hand out, so if you're taking care of them already, it's going to all go together. Those businesses, you're going to have those teens that are in that family to work at your business when you can't hire somebody.
But if you look at the Asian model, that's exactly how that works.
Yeah,
because you'll see those kids in the back doing their homework while you've got that. And we already...
I'm trying in my circle. I'm going to let y'all know. I'm out there trying to get it.
Well, it's really about circulating the dollars in the community more and more. And what you said earlier, Tressa, about, if you have a complaint about somebody, I think that all people listening to this and everybody that shares this and gets involved needs to make a commitment. Yesterday was blackout, right? That was the day you weren't supposed to spend $1. I did not. I decided to be part of that. I hope it did show some financial impact, but also the bigger opportunity we have is to solicit each other and talk to each other about how we improve the business model and how we bring more people to the table to solicit that business. And I always challenge white people that really want to wave the flag of Black Lives Matter. Here's something you can really do.
Right. Absolutely.
Buy black.
Buy black.
Yeah.
Buy black.
And support.
And you do that, you're supporting the black community. Everything else, marching and everything is noble, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how much legislation is being controlled.
Yeah.
And I said this to Tressa just before we got on the air. I heard something else, and I like to share, to Neil, this is my habit when I come on. I don't come on every day, but I like to share little unusual factoids with people that you'll never hear this anywhere. At least I never did. And I listen to a lot of stuff. But they were talking about the 14th Amendment. And right after the abolition of slavery, they had to find an amendment that would recognize black people as people. So they said that you are inured certain rights as a human. Back then, corporations were not corporations in the sense that we know them today. They were just groups of people that got together, got a charter to accomplish a certain objective. And it was families. It was like groups of people that had similar interests. Okay, so fast forward to the 14th Amendment, and all of a sudden, they passed this law that says that you can now recognize an entity as a person. So now a corporation can be inured the rights of a human being. Once that happened, the corporate structure was formed, but they didn't have a conscience. They had one charter: make money, make money, make money, make money. And what that did was that set a whole chain of events in motion that now become the greedy corporations and what we see today. So the 14th Amendment that was supposed to extricate black people from the claws of slavery was used by corporate America to create an identity that they can exploit and in many cases destroy the environment that we now live in. So I just wanted to share that. It was so much of an abstraction to me that you can have a law for one thing that shifted the trajectory of a nation and a world, really, all started because of greed. So, these conversations always go in some different directions. This has been a good one today. I've enjoyed hanging out. Ms. Tennille, thank you for blessing us with your presence. And that's a very noble cause. I like the underwear cause. I bet you probably have some Superman and Spider-Man underwears and all of that.
I got all types. I got trucks. I got, the regular. I go all the way up to high school kids. So I got Hanes. I got the colorful things, people, a lot of my customers from my trucking company have donated monies to kind of get those things so we can get the good stuff.
Nice.
So you don't have to worry about them, tearing the hole in there like we're talking about. But everybody, please, 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 if you would like to help out with Annual Underwear Affair, you can reach out to us on Instagram at AUA Charity. Remember, we are registered 501c3, so your donation is tax deductible. I know y'all are going to be looking for those tax deductions because after this year, y'all got all this free money.
Well, it has been a joy having you. Thank you so much for being here. And Leah, how do folks stay connected to you?
So you can stay connected to me on Instagram at official Leah Sampson, and on Twitter at Leah LEAH_Sampson _1.
Awesome.
Oh, and tune in tomorrow to the Hear Me Bitch podcast to listen to a new episode. I will be interviewing some Black nurses and kind of getting an idea of what's been going on in their world during the virus.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
How about you, Tressa?
And for me, you can find me at www.tressaelaby.com and follow me at comedian Tressa, Tressa. I know you know how to spell comedian, right? That's on all social media. And come out to Laugh Jones Comedy Club. I'm the manager there. It's the only Black comedy club in Houston. Keisha Hunt's Laugh Jones.
Yes, girl, she was just on the show last Tuesday.
Yes. So hopefully she'll be on with us
Sunday.
Too. So it's in Cypress, hosted by Powered by Salon 180, and I'll be there Sunday. I book all the comics.
Awesome. I love it. Well, if you want to stay connected to me, go to OscarHines.com. I got to start saying that. I got to get used to saying that. No one knows there's an OscarHines.com. And there's a Ninja Communications book, which will show you how to read body language, how to understand handwriting analysis, how to be able to sense energy. Forget about it. We turn you into a communications ninja. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, I like it.
Manipulation.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, folks, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed hanging out today. We will be back tomorrow with another Morning Edge. But today, coming up, we're going to have Conscious Conversations with Sierra and Stacy. They'll be joining us a little bit later. And Dr. Rodriguez is in today, and he is going to be talking about liposuction versus weight loss. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be at 11:30 today, so tune in to Rodriguez Rejuvenation. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the Edge Radio family. Remember to share, like those pages, subscribe to the Edge Radio Network on our YouTube page. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, ladies. It's been a blast.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Bye, Black.
Been feeling a little edgy lately? Listen to Edge Radio. That'll push you over the top. 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
This is KGBC, Galveston, Houston, 1540 AM and K269GS, Pasadena, 101.7 FM.
145 over 92.
180 over 111. I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Has it been too long since you and your partner truly enjoyed each other intimately? Hi, I'm Dr. Viviana Coles, and I believe emotional and physical intimacy go hand in hand. At Houston Relationship Therapy, we help couples and individuals work through the many challenges faced while in relationships. Our experienced and dedicated relationship therapists can help get emotional and physical connection back into your relationship. Call 713-542-2221 or book online at HoustonRelationshipTherapy.com. Schedule your appointment today and rediscover intimacy now at Houston Relationship Therapy.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM Houston, Pasadena, Clear Lake, Galveston.
Business owners, thought leaders, when you're ready to connect with new customers, your radio station has the edge you need to succeed. Call 281-744-0446. For more information, call 281-744-0446.
Different techniques of healing are available under the professional care of a licensed doctor of chiropractic's trained hands. Everyone's body is different, and maintaining health and vitality requires individual attention and expert examination. Come by for an individual consultation and physical evaluation. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, visit Arango Chiropractic Clinic at 1302 North Shepherd and have the health experience of your life. For an appointment, call us at 713-868-6166. That's 713-868-6166.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM. Edge Radio.
Our business is helping your business from Galveston to Houston and beyond. 1540 KGBC.